The market's dumping pretty hard right now, and by the time this video comes out tomorrow AM, maybe it won't be. Maybe it will be, but what I know is that the market seemed to need a little bit of a flush, a reset. We're going to be talking about exactly why, and also going over the fundamentals of why things are still really bullish, and how these bullish dumps are actually fantastic, and they make for a very healthy market. Obviously, we just had the most ridiculous surge of coins like Doge, coins like Shiba Inu, coins like ASS. That's right, we have really fundamentally strong projects pumping like crazy. And I say that with total sarcasm, because right now we have a bit of a meme coin mania going on. And that is not what the direction most likely of cryptocurrency long-term will be. Long-term, the smart money is going to flock towards things with fundamentals. Long-term, the market is going to flock towards things that are usable, that solve problems. That's why we have Amazon. That's why we have Facebook. That's why we have Netflix and Google. Anyway, you get it. The point is that all of these projects, all of these companies, they solve problems and people use them. They actually spend money on them. And that's why cryptocurrency will also be dominant, is because these protocols will solve problems and provide services and will actually generate really interesting forms of revenue, as we've seen with DeFi. So what I think is really important for you to understand during this bullish dump is that these meme coins, while they will be good for gains and there will always be speculative value holders in crypto that can go up dramatically overnight, in the end, the smart money will use those gains and most likely funnel them into things like Ethereum and Bitcoin, other L1s, other DeFi protocols, NFT protocols, and beyond that, that people see being very disruptive in the long term. And so that's where I want you to be thinking about, which is where does the money go after it's made money? And you have to understand that the more money you have, the more defensive you are, even if you might get a little bit degenerate. So if you guys are excited for this one, go ahead, destroy that like button. I sincerely hope wherever you are, wherever your portfolio is today, red or green, even though it's most likely red, the reality is that we're all in this same boat. And I do believe the boat is headed to the right place. Once again, smash up those likes. Remember that each and every comment on this video is entered to win your very own hardware wallet. And as always, if you enjoy content like this, make sure you subscribe and put that bell notification on. That way you're made aware whenever I put out new videos. So it's no secret at this point that Bitcoin's gotten a little boring, and Bitcoin does tend to do this. It gets boring before it gets all too exciting. And in the meantime, it's important that you understand while Bitcoin is dumping, who is buying, where do the coins go? And what we're seeing here on this chart is that the actual number of Bitcoin transfers and the price of Bitcoin are both measured here with the line, as well as you see the chart below is measuring the number of transfers from OTC Desk wallets. Now, OTC Desk wallets are the big wallets. Those are the absolutely ginormous institutional wallets. Typically, OTC trading is done by big regulated or financial institutions or high net worth individuals. It's very rare that you have just a normal retail trader doing OTC unless it's a really big trade. Now, if you see right here, during these dump periods, you can see that the OTC desk trading spikes. And that means that these people are getting active when things get bearish. What does it mean? Well, that means that the coins are going from most likely the normal retail traders, those new Dogecoin mania entrants into the space, the TikTokers, and those coins are being transitioned from weak hands to strong hands, or at least more sophisticated, richer hands. And typically when you follow the money flow, as has been the case in crypto for many, many years, what you see is that the patient and the rich continue to get more patient and more rich. And that when things get a little emotional, those people tend to step in and catch the underpriced assets. Now, I do believe that this is important to realize that Bitcoin, although it's up a tremendous amount over the last few months, well, guess what? It's not completed its journey yet. You see, it's just sticking to the stock to flow model. And while the models are not perfect, and every model is to some degree wrong, what we see is that this model has been holding pretty strongly, and that none of the halving and the tokenomic changes, the economic changes, were indeed priced in, like so many people said they were throughout 2018, 19, and 20. What is important to focus on here is that the overall trend of Bitcoin is pretty clear, and it's quite clearly unfinished. So all of the bullish dumps, as I'm calling them, are actually fantastic opportunities, and the big smart money, well, they know that. And so they're jumping in to buy these dips as this comes closer in line with the trend. As you can see here, Bitcoin had a huge surge above the trend line, is now dipping back down to come more in line with the stock to flow growth. But as you can see, this trend line is quite parabolic. This is a log chart. Now, the other king of the market is, of course, Ethereum, and the ETH2 deposit contract has started getting a ridiculous amount of new deposits. And this is probably due in no small part to the ETH2 staking abilities going on Coinbase. But regardless of the catalyst and regardless of the fact that there are some salty Bitcoin whales that think Ethereum is rigging its tokenomics by having a one-way staking contract, which essentially doesn't allow you to quickly unstake your coins, doesn't really matter because that's just commitment long-term to the ETH project and assets, and there are a ton of people who don't plan to sell their ETH. Moreover, I've been screaming like a broken record since last year that pretty much ETH is an obvious next bet for the institutions who are sizing up Bitcoin currently, and a lot of them are aping in already, but Ethereum as a base layer for DeFi, a base layer for Web3, well, that is such an obvious narrative that the tech world and big technology funds are picking that up and running with it. It's pretty obvious that Ethereum, to me, for years now, has been the next target in line for institutional adoption. And what we're seeing is precisely that. Ethereum's price is going to continue to rise, in my opinion. And with both Bitcoin and Ethereum getting supported by institutions, the amount of liquidity coming into this market is astonishing. And it seems as though it's almost impossible for this not to set off one of the most insane alt seasons in the future. So all of these red days are leading up to what I think of as the life-changing moment. For many of you, your life might already be changed by the astronomical gains that we've had since last year. I can't tell you how many messages I've gotten from followers of this channel that have said they've been able to buy a new house, get into a new place, feel more economically stable, or in some cases even become a millionaire. And I do believe that that moment is ahead for many people, especially if you put in the time and just wait for the market to do what it does. This bull market is not over, and all of these dump days present opportunities to get into, well, either Bitcoin or Ethereum, maybe an L1 of your choice, but also altcoins that get hit really hard by these dumps. Lower down on page 1, page 2, page 3, and even 4 and beyond. Well, those smaller cap altcoins get absolutely destroyed by these dumps, but it doesn't mean that they're dead and gone. A lot of times they come back roaring with a vengeance. And so there is a huge opportunity by scooping up very fundamentally strong projects when they are on discount. And I sincerely hope that some of you take the time to sift through and find those opportunities. Again, during this chop just a couple of days ago, we had the announcement of unprecedented capital inflows into Bitcoin, removing 12,000 Bitcoin from Coinbase in an hour. That is a big buy and hodl position. And that kind of behavior is still going on, even though it might seem like Bitcoin has simmered down. So while it seems like the sky is sometimes falling, it's important to realize that these opportunities are part of a healthy market cycle correction, that there is a ton of froth and that coins like Shiba and coins like ASS, much respect to KSI Crypto for calling that pump, but the reality is that these particular coins are not the fundamentally strong things that are going to usher in a revolution. This is not the Facebook and Google and Apple driven NASDAQ that completely upended traditional stocks. This is not that. However, it doesn't mean that those coins don't have a thriving future, that they can find communities, but the thing that's really going to provide the disruptive future, the disruptive breakthrough for cryptocurrency is going to, of course, be Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so staying nestled and focused on those core projects that actually provide the base layer for disruption. Again, you can throw in the Cardanos and the Polkadots, the Matics, the Solanas, whatever you think is the disruptive L1. The good ones will most likely play a big role in the blockchain future of tomorrow. There's probably not going to be one chain to rule them all. You might have the most expensive and valuable and precious transactions on Ethereum. You might have more high throughput stuff on other POS chains. It's just a question of what makes the most sense for each application. But it absolutely doesn't make the most sense if you're just using these all as arbitrary stores of value. And so when you see the market get very irrational, it's usually a time for a consolidation, and the smart money will most of the time take some significant profits, bring the market back a little bit, and let the big dogs start to really get ahead and run. And that means some real big reaccumulation of Bitcoin, building strength, and most likely a big move from the #1 cryptocurrency. Let me know what you guys think. I do believe that any consolidation, no matter how long, is very bullish in this market, and that the longer we consolidate, the less froth in the market, the more fundamental strength we can build for a proper multi-year bull trend. And that the longer this actually stretches out, the higher the likelihood that this bull trend extends even beyond 2021. That's my belief. belief. Let me know if you guys agree. And of course, if you got some value out of this, make sure you smash that like button. Remember, each and every comment on this video is entered to win your very own hardware wallet. And if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe and put that bell notification on. YouTube has been known to censor cryptocurrency content, so it's really important that you put that bell on if you want to be made aware of my next videos. I do have some big gem calls I'm going to be making, so make sure you have that bell on because I'm going to be dropping some very exciting altcoin content, helping you get sized up and at least showing you what I think are the best bets for the next leg of the market. If you guys are excited for that, go ahead, show some love to the channel. Remember, if you want to follow me on Twitter at LEOTrades, the link for that is in the description. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.